Well, good afternoon. You know, the question over the last few months has often been asked of me by some of my saner friends. Why on earth would you want to be the mayor of Jackson? And to that point, my reply always is, because I love this city and don't want to see it fail. I grew up in Jackson in a working class family. I was just 3 weeks old when my parents moved us from Holmes County to Jackson looking for better opportunities. Early life was spent in Midtown and Georgetown before we finally settled in Verdant Addition. These were all modest but highly functional. My father emerged as a union leader, and my dad is here with me today. He's the big guy behind us. He emerged as a union leader and later as a local union president. My mother was a cook and later a cafeteria manager. They taught me the importance of education, hard work, being a man of my word, and the importance of coming together to solve problems. My father stressed that it was not about one man or one woman, it was about us, all of us. I attended school at Walton Elementary, Mary Jones, Mary Johnson, Mary Morrison, all the Marys. Junior high was spent at Powell Middle School and Chastain Middle Schools. High school at Brinkley and Callaway, where I graduated. I say all this to say that I am a product of Jackson and proud of it. I went away to school in Kentucky and upon graduation did not see much opportunity awaiting me in Jackson. But it was my father who encouraged me to return, making the argument that Mississippi was changing and that it did not need all of its talented people abandoning the state for greener pastures. He even offered to help finance my departure from Mississippi if I stayed for 3 years. Well, that was 30 years ago. Over that time, I've been largely a public servant. Fresh out of college, I worked as a job developer for high school dropouts, and then ran a cultural arts coalition from which arose the Ferris Street Festival. In 1981, I began a 12-year tenure with Mississippi State government, first as a program manager with the Arts Commission. Then in 1995, I had what I call the best job in state government. I was a state film commissioner working to bring movies in to be filmed on location in Mississippi. In 1988, I was named by then Governor Ray Mabus to head the Governor's Office of Federal State Programs, overseeing a staff of 250 people with a $150 million budget. Following that, Governor Mabus appointed me State Tourism Director, where I served for 3.5 years. In 1993, I began my tenure as a state senator, focusing largely on economic development issues. Some of my prouder moments include securing funding for small businesses, minorities, and women, a minority surety bond program, and funding to restore historical cultural properties, including the restoration of the Medgar Evers home. I was lead sponsor on several projects benefiting Jackson, including the Ferris Street Loan Program, the JSU Metro Parkway, and the Telecom Center. I played a critical role in the passage of the Jackson Convention Center legislation. In 2005, I led the efforts to recruit Food Depot to Northside Drive and McDade's to Westland Plaza. So you see, while others talk about what they will do for Jackson, I have a strong track record of what I've already done for Jackson. I'm also pleased that the Jackson City Council is poised to adopt one of my strategies to create an additional revenue stream using a local option for specific projects like streets and infrastructure, police and fire protection, and funding major projects. That is the first of several strategies we will be proposing in the coming year to generate revenue for the capital city, and we believe that there's an important role for the state of Mississippi to play as well. As we stand here today, in the backdrop of one more business that has left Jackson, I commit to you that as the next mayor of Jackson, I will lead the effort to turn things around in Jackson, Mississippi in a new direction. The first step in repairing our city is identifying its problems. Of course, we all know that crime is a problem. We all know that economic development or the lack thereof is a problem. We all know that our deteriorating infrastructure is a problem. But what exactly do these problems mean to you, to me. How do poverty, crime, and few job opportunities affect you and me? By having a constructive conversation about the ill effects of our problems, I believe we can and will move forward in developing a strategy, our strategy, to take Jackson in a new direction. To start our dialogue, I will be hosting a series of listening sessions called Jackson Speaks. This is our opportunity to share our experiences, to talk about our problems, and to formulate a comprehensive strategy for our city. We will visit every ward in the city of Jackson, talk to as many stakeholders as possible, and the culmination of our conversations will be a comprehensive plan called the People's Plan of Jackson. We're calling it the People's Plan because it will be our plan for revitalizing Jackson and fixing our home. You know, my father was clever enough and persuasive enough to call me home. My friends, we must be clever enough and persuasive enough to call Jackson home, to make it safe, to make it attractive, and a fun place to live, to work, and to visit. So here on the second day of January in the